Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kristen. Today I'm going to share with you guys how I was able to get a extremely messy craft room into something very functional, organized, and minimal. And minimal, when you think as a crafter, like how are we going to be able to do that? One, not everything is minimal. I love using my Cricut. I also love using chalk couture. So honestly, I am not getting rid of any of those items, but I want to show you guys and share some tips and tricks I had along the way to make your craft room functional and easier to clean and take care of and pick up. So let's get into the video. Before I show you what my craft room looks like now, I did just want to give a little tour of what it looked like in December of 2022. So keep this in mind. If your craft room looks like this, you can definitely change it. The first thing I want to share with you guys is my new craft room setup. So I no longer sit on the floor anymore because it honestly was killing my knees and my back. I'm not as young as I feel. So this is just what it looks like now, and it is not a huge room. It is a 12 by 12 or an 11 by 12 room, so it's not super big, but I have found ways to keep this very organized, just using a couple systems and some areas of my craft room. So let's get into this side here. Okay, so we're gonna get started to these shelves here, and then I will just kind of work my way around the craft room. So for these shelves, if you can get shelves, you can put shelves up in your craft room. Highly recommend it to do it this way. Obviously add a third piece right here so they're not bowed out like mine, but I love having glass jars. And if you don't have glass jars and you have something that's functional, just label it. It works perfect. It works either way. So whether it's glass, whether it's something else, jars, tins, they work for me. I can see exactly what I have, and these are a lot of the little items that I have in my craft room. So I have like wood stems. I know I obviously don't need to buy any come fall time or springtime or whatever I choose to use these for, because I have a ton right here. I know I have clothespins and half beads, and because I can see them right here. Acrylic markers, and then I have all sorts of beads in here. This could probably be organized better, but I think it works perfect for me. And then we have some wood shapes, letters. This one is actually completely empty. I have chalk couture in here. This is just like all of the squeegees and little applicators. And then up here we have some more Scrabble wood letters. These I know are just pens because I just kind of got rid of where I put my pens at. More wood stems, popsicle sticks, and I just think this is just such an easy way to organize and stay organized where you're not buying more because you know your jar isn't going to hold any more. All right, I am going to hop over to this area because this area honestly has brought me so much joy, but it has also made me actually use my Cricut more than I ever have in the years that I've had this. So I do want to thank Caydo for sponsoring today's video. They sent me over this cart. Use it for vinyl, use it for Scrabble paper, whatever you choose. These little areas are 12 by 12, and it was so easy to put together. I'm not going to show how I put it together. Honestly, it was just as simple as this cart. I'm not going to go into it, but Caydo also gave me this as well a long time ago, and it has been my favorite area. So right here, I just organized everything by color, and not all of it is like, it's not rainbow themed because I kind of started doing that, and then I realized like I don't have orange. I don't really use red and yellow very often, so I kind of put things together. So I have my vinyl here. I have my white vinyl, black vinyl. I use these all the time, and then I have like gold and silver, and then I have all of my iron-on sheets, and then just like cardstock and all the things I really don't use, chipboard, but I did want it all in this area because I feel like this is like my Cricut area. I love this little drawer right here. This just pulls out, and I just put my scrap pieces of vinyl in here along with just like Cricut accessories that I don't use all the time, but I still want them on hand. This on the side, it can go on either side. I chose this side because, well, we have cats and I don't want them taking all these little pieces when they come in here and play. And I noticed that when I usually put my computer up here, when I hook my computer to my Cricut, and obviously I'm right-handed, and this just seems to be like my go-to area. So I thought that worked perfect just for the items that I use all the time. I love this right here. And then this cart right here just has all of my Cricut items all organized and good to go. So thank you again to Caydo for sponsoring today's video and sending over this cute little cart. I will link it in the description box below for you guys if you want to check it out. All right, so anyways, that is my Cricut area. I have my rolls of vinyl here, my easy press, my little tiny, I think this is an easy press too, and then my Cricut, and of course like a million weeding tools. I feel like every time I use my Cricut, I lose them, so I just wanted a ton on hand. So this is what this little area looks like here, and then I do have Chocateur through my entire space, so you'll see more of that later on. We're gonna go into this shelf right here, and this is just a lot of like fun hobbies that I have. I love making bracelets, so I have a ton of bead accessories up here, and then I have all of my t-shirts, Cricut supplies for Cricut. So this is like more Cricut. It is also a ton of Xtool, so I have more Cricut. I mean, Cricut's just never gonna go away. You will never be able to minimalize this, but I can see everything I have. And then I love having this because I can also see all the colors of vinyl that I have, along with my little scrap pieces in that drawer. And then I also have my Cricut Joy in here. Here's like a ton of just like extra butcher paper, and you can see through it. So it works perfect. I didn't have to label anything because this changes all the time. And then also we have some more beads, glitter, resin items, so just a lot of different things, but I don't have a ton of to make a whole space for it. All right, this wall you have probably seen in many of my videos. This is kind of like my backdrop wall slash styling area. I have this piece right here I redid in a thrift video that I love it, but I decided to keep it in here so I can style it, and every time I craft I can always look at it, and I love it. So bringing on to my crafting space now. So we're just kind of jumping all around here. So this is where I craft now. I do use this chair when I craft, or I just stand so I can push it away. But I love having a table to craft with. So this is not only my crafting space, this is obviously like my filming area. So I'm probably going to have more items to deal with than just a normal crafter. So down here, I decided to keep all of my scissors and just things that I always grab that I have to stand up and go get. So we have a pencil, we have rulers, we have miter shears, we have tin snips, like all the things are in that top area right there. And then this is just kind of some extra things. This is going to be to hold my phone up so I can make some better reels. And then I also have some light pads, Chocateur, like the things, like I said, I always grab for. I'm going to jump to this area. This is where I have my Xtool S1. I love this thing, but it comes in handy, and I wanted it, it's a larger item, and I needed a desk for it. So I was using this like to edit and just kind of honestly heave a bunch of stuff up to, or onto. So I thought, why not have this in here, not put it back in the box, like let's make this functional so I can use it whenever I want. And it's keeping me from like throwing things in this area because obviously I don't want this machine ruined. So that is all set up so whenever I want to use it. And then up here, I used to have all of my paints, which this is kind of just a fun area for me to like look at. So my acrylic paints are still up here. And then my kids use these. So this looks like it is going to absolutely fall. So 1 second. Okay, thankfully I just noticed that. Okay, so acrylic paints here, and then I have my chalk paste like packets here. Just items I use. I have like my AirPods, and then obviously pictures of my girls and things that they have made me. I also have like a bunch of tape up here, so this is, I always use this area. Things I just don't want ruined, more things my kids made, and then like my YouTube play button. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's definitely what it's called. Another tripod, which if you don't do YouTube, you're probably not gonna have one of those, or Instagram or TikTok. And then this is what this area looks like. inside the drawer is literally everything that I need for Xtool. It's all Xtool items, except my planners do go on this side with memory cards. And of course, chapsticks always are everywhere. But anyways, this is all Xtool items that I need, including the baby wipes, helps clean the bottom of it. So yeah, I mean, this is literally everything that I would ever need to use my Xtool, including chapstick. Okay, the closet. We're just gonna show it because we're gonna go ahead, because not everything, like I said, is going to be minimal. It's not all going to be gorgeous. It's not gonna be Pinterest perfect. This bottom is mostly frames, and then I have some placemats and some, I'd say scrapbook paper, but I can't think of what it's called. The sticky peel and stick wallpaper from Dollar Tree. And that's really all that's down here. And then like some envelopes, really things that I don't use, but these are frames that I will be using soon, so I can get them out of this space. Also up here, I have my florals and greenery right here, fabric glue. This is completely empty, there's nothing in there. And then I also have my chalk paste. We have stickers, and I like this because I can just grab these when I use them and I can see them better. And then we have stickers, rub-on transfers. That one is empty. Fabric glue, dye, all the fabric-y things. This is paint items, so like little paint supplies. I have like a cheesecloth in there or something in there. I don't even know if I'll ever use that. And then that's for my spray paint gun, and that just stays there. And then up here is just a lot of stuff I use, but not all the time. So scrapbook paper, I don't use that very often, but I can just pull it out whenever I need it. And then like cables, we have sublimation items, more sublimation. It's kind of just all sublimation and scrapbook paper up there. But I think this is actually pretty organized than you've seen in any of my other decluttering or crafting videos. And sometimes I don't even show the closet because it is usually out of control. So this area needs help, but I'd say that's the only area of the craft room that does. So onto this wall. This cart has always kind of been a throw-all cart, and I'm so glad I changed that. So I decided to turn this cart into something I could use for everyday items that I use. So I can just wheel this over to where I craft, and then I can sit there and craft like that. It's so awesome. So I have like paintbrushes, paint, it's like chalk paint, and then I have glue sticks galore at the bottom and some sandpaper. And this seriously, it makes my life, it makes it so much easier. So I think that's one thing I could highly recommend, is to have something that you can just grab and go. So even if it's not as large, even if you have something this big that fits my paintbrushes and you can throw paint in it and glue sticks, it will make life and crafting, I'd say life, but like, don't we all love crafting? It's all kind of the same, right? It just makes things so much easier having a like go-to cart. All right, so right here, of course, we have some more. So this is like my diamond art stuff. I'm still doing this diamond art. It's kind of taken, it's on the back burner right now. But I still like styling and like decorating with things that I've made, and more chalk couture. This is going to have to come down. I think this vinyl holder on the wall is the worst thing I've ever bought. I don't like it, and every time I shut the door, you hear vinyl rolls falling out of it. It is, I feel like it's the worst thing I've ever paid money for my craft room to organize it. But if you guys think it works, but it is one thing I will eventually change. Everything takes a lot of time. So bins, I love bins. You're gonna see some of these aren't labeled because I have been reorganizing. So I think bins are great, but I also think they're bad at the same time. So I love them because they look pretty and they hide things, but they hide things. So I have bins over here as well. And sometimes you just don't know what's stuck inside these bins. So I did go through these recently. This is all glue, and it is 100% all glue. I had this, and there was more things than glue in it. I have seasonal, so this is mostly Easter and Valentine's Day and the 4th of July, because I don't craft a ton for them. And then this one is blank, This is going to be a bin that I have ideas for. So I already know everything I'm gonna do in this bin and what I'm gonna use it for. And when I can just grab this bin, throw it on my desk and start crafting. This is 100% yarn. Well, I guess it's twine too, but yarn. And it's labeled yarn. Like I said, I need to redo all those, but I just wanted to share what kind of made crafting easier. You're gonna see that all my bins aren't even full all the way. So this is wood items. This is actually fabric and I guess iron-on patches. But you can see that it's not even kind of full. So if I like take it out, and I love having bins that are like this now because it makes me feel good that I didn't spend all of my money on items I'm not going to use. The galvanized bin, this one is pretty full. It has like knobs, it has a ton of these in here, and like buckets. So the buckets kind of fill it up pretty full. And then down here, it's also something empty. Has some pictures and some highlighters. And some clamps. And as you can see that there's really not a ton in there. And I think that's beautiful. These drawers are not minimal because they are mostly chalk couture. We have some rolls of rub-on transfer, more sublimation. These really need to kind of get organized a little bit better. But I don't use felt a lot, so I just don't really go through these drawers very often. And then there's also scrapbook paper in here. And then we also, these drawers are all, it's all chalk couture, all bottom 3 of them. So I wasn't gonna dare organize those, maybe someday. Up top before I go into the bins, so I just have 2 printers and there's plugins back here. So I'm able to plug all these items in. I have my sublimation, like my tumbler press, which I love this. Tumblers, these just kind of are right here. I mean, this is honestly reality. It's not gonna always stay super clean. So I just have those there. I'm making tumblers soon. And okay, so let's go into these. So this is all chalk couture. Like I have a ton of, I have an apron. I have a ton of these clean your transfers. So that is all chalk couture. And then this is wood items. And this is, I think all the wood items that I actually have from Dollar Tree is combined in this bin. I don't feel like you always have to buy a ton of new items when you're organizing, like use what you have. But I like this because it's one bin. And it used to be all of these bins. It used to be every bin. It used to be the bins on the other side I just showed you. It used to be absolutely everywhere. And then this bin, I usually just style with a lot of these items and like reuse this greenery. I mean, I always have a floral bin, but then I found these. I'm like, oh, these would be cute to like add to floral items. And then completely empty. This is a camera, and this is things for my one of my heat presses. So I just keep those items in there. And then this is Simply Earth. So this is a lot. Okay, so we do have some odd items in here. It's mostly Simply Earth, which is essential oils. Okay, this area, so we're gonna open this one first. This is just a couple items, a butane torch, or a torch and butane torch. We have crackle and polyacrylic, and this is a small little screwdriver. And then this one is just my printer, my photo printer. I don't know why I keep it in the box. It just seems to, and then we have dust, which that happens. And then we just have my mug press. And then for this is rope and ribbons, which I kind of use all this at the same time, and some burlap. I didn't want to add it and like put it in different bins because it all fit in here and I still have room. This is just flowers, like all different flowers and cotton pods and items that I picked up at Dollar Tree that they were just kind of pushed in with the rope and the burlap and the ribbon and the yarn. They were everywhere. So I did organize all of these, and it only took about like an hour to an hour and a half to actually redo all of these bins. This is just tools. So I have sandpaper, some clamps, we have a glue gun, we have a staple gun, paint rollers, like you name it, it's tools. And then the last thing I am going to show you are these bins right here. So this is stuff like wood items. I don't know, These aren't as organized as I wish they would be. This is items that I sell for like our craft shows, so I'll just keep those in there. And then just some thrifted items. This is Chocolatier, which is, I mean, there's really not a lot in here. There's 3 things in this little area right here. We have foam. So I got foam marshmallows and just foam. And up here is this, oh, this was random. I didn't know what to do with these items. So I just have nozzles, rocks, and chalkboard labels, which I will be using for those bins that, that don't have labels on them. And last but not least, like 1 crate, cutting boards, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this craft room tour with me. Keep a few things in mind. It did take me years to get my craft room to look the way it does now. I say make sure everything has a place. Make sure the way you organize your craft room, that it actually works for you and not somebody else. You have to take that in as much as possible, or your craft room will never be how you want it. And the last thing is stop buying things you don't need. No matter how cute it is, no matter if you think you have a great idea, you probably are not going to use that if you didn't use the items you bought months ago. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you again to Caydo for sponsoring today's video. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!